Hello and welcome to today's video. This is going to be the board game collection. This has been a collection that me and my partner Joe have been working on for honestly probably like 8 years now. We moved in together about 8 years ago and we've slowly collected lots of board games, and we get really into games nights and play a lot of games, so we've got quite a lot. I actually haven't counted them, maybe we'll do that at the end, but there's a lot of games here and a lot of games that we frequently play, so I thought this would be a perfect time to show you them and tell you a little bit about them. I won't actually be going into detail about the games. If like actually showing these games and reviewing them is something that you would enjoy, do let me know. Like, I'm open to do more board gamey videos like this. Obviously the usual here is reading and book videos, but I feel like being into games kind of comes hand in hand in that, and we've got a lot over the years. I have to kind of make this video a little bit linear and to have it have a little bit of an easy to follow, you know, like timeline down the bottom. If you do want to skip to a different timestamp, you can. I have split it up into sections, but I will say these sections aren't like exclusive. There are definitely some games that I could have put in like 2 or maybe even 3 different sections. I just put them in the one that felt best to me. So we are going to be going over my favourite games, 2 people / quieter games, classic games that everyone tends to love, really great games that are fun to play, great games to start with / you can take out with you, so like you could start a games day, games night with them, or you could take them out if you're going out. Older games that we don't play that much, but we still keep because we like them. Games I personally haven't played yet. If Jay has played it, I will mention that and kind of explain why I've got it. And then some honourable mentions, because we definitely host game nights here, but we also play games nights at other people's houses, and other people in our friend groups have games, and we've also been to some game cafes. So I think there's currently 3 games that we would like to get, but there's no rush on it because other people have got them. So yeah, that is how this is going to go. Hopefully it's fun, hopefully you like it. Let's just get into it. Okay, so when it comes to favourite games, I would say there are like 2 that I would class as my favourites, but for different reasons. My favourite 100% game is using cues, and this is why playing games and board games are also so subjective, because this is my favourite game. I love playing this. I would play this every single time we play games if I could. But Jay, my partner, actually doesn't like this one. He just thinks this one is fine. So I think it really does depend on what you like. But this one, you literally have all of these user colours and you give a 1-word clue, and everyone has to figure out what colour you're referring to. And then if you want to try and get more points, you can give a 2-word clue and people can try and get closer to the colour, and you count up your scores and you can just go around. We normally pick a number to get to, so the first person to get to that number of points wins, because there are, I think there's 50 points available on this. Yeah, there's 50 points available that you can track on the board, and we've never made it that far, so I think normally we pick about 15 or 20, but also if there's a bigger group of people, we've just done it so everyone gets 1 turn, and then whoever's at the front at the end of that wins, sort of thing. But I absolutely love this. I think it's so much fun. You can kind of see on the back of it what the board looks like, and I just think it's amazing. I would highly recommend this one. And then my other favourite, and I think it's a favourite just because it doesn't matter what group of people you're with, whether you normally play games, like whether you play games frequently, or whether you've never played a game before or never played in like 10 years or whatever, this game is so fun for everyone, and this is Colour Brain. This is an absolutely amazing game. This can be played so that each player is playing by themselves, or you can do it in teams, and I personally prefer playing in teams. I just think it's a bit more fun when there's like discussion and stuff. But essentially you literally get this is how many colours you need to pick out of your cards, this is the prompt, what are the correct colours. So an example on the back is, what colour is the lid on a container of semi-skimmed milk, and then you'd have to pick 1 colour out of your cards. Or there are 2 types of squirrel in the UK, what colours are they, and you'd have to pick 2 cards, that sort of thing. It's really fun, really easy, really fast as well, because like you don't have to play for any particular time, you don't have to count points if you don't want to. Like, there is a point system, you definitely can, but you don't have to. and it's just a lot of fun, and it's very simple. It's literally just colours. So I personally feel that no matter how old you are, you can play this. This does say 12 plus on it. There is a kids version. There's no questions in here that I think would be unsuitable for someone younger, at least that we've come across. So I think if there is a younger person about, you definitely could still play this in a team as well. They just probably couldn't play by themselves. There's probably questions in there that like a below 12-year-old wouldn't know the answers to, but I think playing as a team, you could definitely incorporate a younger person if you're playing with like family as well. So yeah, really love this one. Probably not one that I want to play every single game night, just because obviously we get through the cards so fast. I think you can get bumper packs. If you do get through all the cards, you can just buy another pack of questions, but it's just so much fun and it works for everyone. So I really like this one, especially when it comes to playing games with new people. I think it's a really great starting point. Then we have the like 2 people or quieter games. I say all quieter games because I think one of these you can play with more than 2 people, we just never have. So this is Battleship. First of all, Battleship is so much fun. It's easy and it's just a nice one to play, sometimes even in the background. I will say we haven't actually played this Battleship yet. I haven't played since I was a kid. This is one we've got very recently because we wanted it in our games collection so we could play together rather than only being able to play with other people's. But yeah, it's probably been 10 years since I played this and I can't wait to pick it up again. It's just one that everyone knows and it's really simple. This is, I believe it is only 2 people. Maybe you could do it in teams and play with more, I don't know, but it's definitely like designed to be a 2-person game. And in this one the goal is literally to sink the other people's battleship. So if I open this up, you have 2 boards, one of which has your ships on and you are trying to, you know, not get your ships sunk, and the other one you can track the other person's ships on and where you've put things and what to hit and what to miss. It's very simple, very easy. I don't actually know the age group of this one, but I suspect this is one that you can play from like very young. I can definitely remember playing it when I was like 13 and enjoying it, so yeah, very fun. Then we have a very loud classic. This is Connect 4. Obviously 2 people, one's red, one's yellow, and you are trying to connect 4 across the board. We do have a very similar game to this later on as well, which will be fun to mention, but this is a great one for in the house for just playing. And yeah, I'd say this is one that we normally get out at Christmas. We don't get it out too frequently. I really enjoy it. I have a lot of fun with this. And I think if you are starting a games collection and don't just want to play with other people, you want to play like as a 2-player game as well, then this is definitely a fun one to have, because you know, you can not play it for a year and then get it out and it's still like just as fun. So yeah, very much adore this one. I don't think I have much to say. I feel like most people have played Connect 4 at some point in their life, but this is the board and the literal goal is to drop your counters in and connect 4 of them, either up, across or diagonally, and that's it. So yeah, very fun. And then the other one that we've only played 2-player, but you definitely can play with more, is Scrabble. This is a word game. This is a bit more of a geeky one. We've only played this one a few times, to be perfectly honest, but I don't see us ever getting rid of it. I think this is definitely one that if we're having some like quiet time, just like relaxing, this is definitely one that can come out. You literally are just making words up and scoring the words. Each letter has a different point it can be worth, and then on the board there's also stuff like triple word score, double letter score, triple letter score, stuff like that. It's a lot of fun. I'd say this one does bring out a competitive side, so we haven't played it too much. It's definitely one of those where it's like, does that count, doesn't that count? It's like, let's just have fun. But yeah, I do really enjoy it and really enjoy it being a part of the collection. It's one that we've played just the 2 of us. We've never actually played it with more people, but I do believe it says on it that you can play up to 4 players. Yeah, 4 players, so maybe that's something we could do at some point. But yeah, this is just like a very, I'd say like a quiet Sunday afternoon sort of game. I would view this one as, but I do really like it when we play it. Okay, and then we have classic games that everyone loves. These are games that have been popular for quite a long time. You've probably heard of them, you've probably played them, but everyone does like them, and I really like having them be a part of our collection. So the first one I'm going to show you is, we've got a version of the game. There's loads of ways you can play this game. Like, it's not like a brand game where it's like that's the way you play it. Like Scrabble, you play Scrabble, there's no other versions of it. This one, there's loads of ways you can play it. We've just got this version, and that is Who Am I, as it's called. There's loads of ways you can play this. You essentially have a little head strap on and you have a person on your head and you're trying to guess who you are, or you're trying to give clues to the other person as to who they are. This is 2+ players. I honestly don't know how many people you can play this with, but it's a lot. There's a lot included, and for this one there's 200 famous names. Honestly, we got this one, it just says £7 on it. I'm pretty sure it was in some sort of deal, so we decided to get it. I'm pretty sure if you don't want to buy this one, you can also get like versions on your phone. I'm pretty sure that like you can hold your phone up to your head. I've seen that before. And you know, like Who Am I is just the name of this one. There's loads of different versions, so yeah. But we do like this one. I think it's fun, it's easy, and it's fun for everyone. Like, it's one that you can play with friends, it's one you can play with family, it's one that you can play with just younger people, just older people. It really is decent. Well, not one we play often, but one I am glad that we have in the collection. It's always an easy one to get out that everyone pretty much already knows how to play, because at some point this has been popular many times over the years, and it's kind of, even if you never played it before, you get the idea sort of thing. It's very simple. There's a name on top of your head, you're trying to guess who it is. So yeah, I really like this one, but there's not much to say about it. Then we have Uno. This is what, I don't even know if we played our Uno cards, honestly. Everyone seems to have a set. No, I don't even think these are open, or if so, we put them away very nicely. Everyone has a set of Uno cards. I think it's nice to have. You can play it with lots of people. This says 2 to 10 people, and it's just nice. It's simple, it's easy, and it's one that can last as little or as long as you want. Personally, it's not one of my favourites. Like, I would definitely choose many other games over this, but I do think this is one of Jay's favourites, and it's also a favourite like in the group. So this has been played quite a few times at games nights, just not our edition. Then another classic is Jenga. Jenga, you literally have this tower and you pull it apart. It's as simple as that. I do really like this one, to be honest. I think we've played this one, just the 2 of us, and I think we've also played it with like about 6, and it's worked both times. It's a nice simple one. This is one that could also go into like the pile of games that like are just easy to start the night in, like especially when people are coming and going and like everyone's getting themselves settled. This is an easy one to have set up, but it's also a classic that everyone knows how to play. I don't think I've ever had to describe Jenga to anyone, but you know, if you have never played, it's a tower. The tower consists of 3 blocks sat one way and then 3 blocks sat the other way, and the aim of the game is to pull a block from nearer the bottom of the tower and place it on top, and keep going until someone knocks over the tower and loses. And it's as simple as that, and it's a really fun, easy game. Then I feel like it wouldn't be a games collection really without Monopoly. This is a game that, I don't know if this is the case outside of the UK, but I feel like in the UK everyone has played Monopoly. There's always Monopoly versions, even at school I believe there was like Monopoly stuff, so I think most people will have played Monopoly at some point, or if you haven't played it, you've at least heard of it. I am trying to be very careful how I hold this box, because I think something has come out of place and I'm very worried it's going to open and spill everywhere. But yeah, this Monopoly, you are a counter, you move around the board, you want to buy houses, you want to pay as little money as possible to the bank and to other people, and you want to be collecting as much money as possible. You can collect all houses in a colour scheme, you can go around. It's just a lot of fun. It's very simple. We've actually got this version now which is electronic, so you don't even have to keep the cash, which makes it a lot easier, I will say. When I was growing up, we always had Monopoly, and like, you know, you'd have to like sort through your cash and see if someone had got change for this and change for that. And I think this just makes it a bit of a simpler game, having the electronic like game cash element of it. And I've enjoyed this. So I think we've probably only played Monopoly 4 times in like our regular games night kind of nights, but every time it's been so much fun. The only downside of Monopoly, I would say, is that it takes so long. So it is kind of one of those games where it's like if you're playing Monopoly, you probably only play Monopoly, or maybe fit it in one more game. But yeah, it's definitely a favourite. Everyone likes it, everyone enjoys it, and it's just simple. Okay, and then I've left this one to last in the classic game section because this one is also Jay's favourite game. This is the game that Jay would say is his favourite, and I think it's one of the first games that we got, and that is Articulate. And I would say this is a classic, honestly, just because of how long it's been out, but also, at least for people our age, like I'm 28, Jay's 30, everyone we've ever like played games with around our age has already heard of this. Even if they haven't played it before, they've heard of it and know what it's about. I don't know if that's the case with older people. I definitely remember playing with my parents at some point and my mom had got no idea what this is, so like maybe that's not the case if you're older. But I do think this has been pretty popular for a while. You're in groups. It is 4 to 20 players. Well, the 20 plus it says. I think the most we've played with is 16. Yeah, I think the most we played with is 16. And that was a lot. Like, I don't think I'd want to play with more than that personally. But essentially, you go around the board, you're on a square, and you have, I believe it's 60 seconds. The game might say different. We normally do 60 seconds. I think that is the one thing that you do change about games, is how much time you have to do things. You learn what's best for you. But we normally give ourselves 60 seconds, and you've got a stack of cards, and the colour on the card will associate with where you are on the board. So you can have person, random, nature, object, action, world, or the spade. And you are just not using the word that's on the card to try and get the people on your team to guess what the word is. You are articulating yourself in such a way that the people you are playing with can guess what you're trying to tell them and give you the correct answer. Every answer you get correct within the 60 seconds is an amount of points, and however many points you end up with at the end of the 60 seconds is how far you can move around the board. There's a start section and an end section. First past the end section wins. There is an additional game mechanic you can play if you want once you pass the end section to win. We don't play with that. It takes too long to play with that. But there is an additional circle at the centre of the board with a spinner, and you can insert that game mechanic if you want. We've only played that way a couple of times and we decided it wasn't for us, so just once you pass the end, you've won. But yeah, this is definitely a favourite, one that is played multiple times a year and one that everyone we've played with has really enjoyed. So yeah, that's the fun of the classic games. Okay, and then we have really great games that are fun to play. So this is essentially games that we'll play every 3 or 4 games nights. These will come around. We don't play them every games night, but when we do get them out, they're always fun. There's always, you know, different groups of people who prefer different ones, and they're honestly, they're just a lot of fun. There's certainly games that, like, there's quite a big pile here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 games in this pile. There's certainly ones that I'm like, if this person is at games night, I don't want to play this one because they're like way better than everyone else. If this person is at games night, like, playing this one becomes a little bit easy because I can't lie very well, like stuff like that. So they're all really fun games that I would highly recommend, but it's kind of just, you know, playing and seeing if you enjoy it. That's why I really recommend games cafes. If you are looking to start a games collection and you don't know what you want, go to a games cafe, play some games. The one that we go to, it's £2 per hour, and there's like, I can't remember if it's 600 or 6,000 games on the wall, and you just pay per person per hour £2. So if we're there for, I don't know, 4 hours, that would be £8 each to play as many games as we want, sort of thing. And then at the end of that, we kind of know games that we'd like to have for ourselves and have at home and play again. So I really recommend going that route if you can, rather than buying games that maybe aren't a good fit for you. But yeah, let's just get started on this section because there are a lot. I'm going to do 2 at a time to start with. Is that the right way up? Yes, I think they're the right way up. So this is Chameleon, and this is also Chameleon, but this is the picture edition. We have played this one a lot. We've only played this one twice, but we've really enjoyed it both times. We actually haven't played our edition. This is a new one, but we played this one at a games cafe. Thought it was really good and thought it changed a few of the elements of the game. Essentially, in this game, however many people you're playing with, everyone can see this card. So this card here in this example is food and shows loads of foods. Everyone then gets a card that tells you where to look on the board. So it'll tell you which tile you need to be looking at and which item on this card you need to know and give a clue about. And one person's card will just say, you're the chameleon. And you go around and everyone gives one word to describe it. So for instance, if it was potatoes, you've got boil, poach, brown are the examples given, but the chameleon wouldn't know what it was. So you kind of have to then, once everyone's given their word, have a bit of a discussion, get people to explain themselves why they've said that word, and try and guess who the chameleon is. And then the chameleon either wins or loses. If the chameleon gets caught, they can try and guess what the word is and still win, or if you don't catch the chameleon, they automatically win. It's a really, really fun game. This way it has words on it. This way it is just pictures. So there's definitely different ways to kind of like play it because it's a picture rather than a word. It just adds a different element into it, and we really enjoy playing this one as well. So I'm now really glad that we do have both of these, and honestly it'll probably be 50-50 which one we play when we pick them up. So yeah, those are Chameleon and Chameleon Picture edition. Then we have Noggin. Noggin's a really fun game. It's a very quick game. This probably could have also gone in one of those like quick games, but I just don't think this one is as good to take out with you. So just because I think if you ate anywhere noisy, it's probably not the best, but this could be a game that you play for the start of an evening because it is really good. I mean, it says on the front, a card game that will make the brain. I always end up struggling by the end of this game. It starts out and I'm like, oh yeah, I understand what we're doing, I understand this, and by the end I'm just like, this is so many rules, I'm so confused, and normally end up having to drop out. You basically have letters and a prompt and you have to answer it. So for instance, if you had A and B and the prompt was middle letters, you could say table, and you just go round until someone messes up. The prompts and the letters change out quite frequently, you never really get bogged down by them. It's a very fast game, a very fast paced game, and just one that's fun. Honestly, we don't play this one that often, but every time we do, it's really good time. Every time we do, it gets so like weird and crazy, just because everyone starts getting confuddled at one point or another, and it really does, especially if you're playing it late at night. We know if we want to play this one, play it near the start of the evening, because if it gets to like 10-11 p.m. and we decide to get this one out, like, people are way too tired to try and figure this out. I'm way too tired. I normally go to bed by midnight, so yeah, if we're playing this one too late, it gets weird. But yeah, really fun game. Would definitely recommend giving a try. Then we have Linky. The version that we've got is number 3. There's loads of different numbers that you can get, and they're essentially just different cards. They're all the exact same game, but because you only get so many cards in with them, they're different. And as you can see, we're only on the first stack of cards here. There's still 2 unopened stacks, so we don't need to get another one anytime soon. We've still got plenty of cards to go through. I don't actually know how many cards of this one we've got. We've only played it a couple of times, but you do get through quite a few cards every time. But yeah, this is Linky. This particular one is number 3, but yeah, I assume that all the cards are equally as good. At least if the third one's as good as 1 and 2 to continue getting made, then like, yeah, it's fun. And essentially you are just trying to link together something. So the example on the back is, what do you call someone from Florence? Sticky tape that's easy to peel off is called something tape. Name the actor who's played Sherlock something Cumberbatch. What do some people do to walnuts to preserve them? And the answers are Florentine, Scotch, Benedict and pickle. And if you've got all those answers correct, then you might figure out that the clue is trying to link eggs together, and if you can figure it out that it's eggs, then you get that card and you have to spell Linky to win the game. It's really fun. I do think it's a long game. I do think it's one that you shouldn't start towards the end of the evening. Just when we've played it, I feel like it has taken us longer than it says. It says 30 minutes to play, and I feel like it always takes more like 45 minutes to an hour. But it's just really fun. I think everyone can play it. I don't know, is there an age on here? I can't see. And at age 12 till the end. And yeah, I definitely agree with that. I think a lot of people could play this. A lot of people could get behind it. It is just like silly things. Either you get the link and you've got it, or you haven't. But luckily you're working as a team, so most of the time you can kind of figure it out, and it's a lot of fun. And obviously, like, sometimes a card will come up and you might not want that card. Like if K came up for a second time, you'd already got K, you might not want it, but you don't want the other team to get it. So it's just like trying to figure out the best way to get Linky to be spelled out, and get all the cards and work together. And yeah, really enjoy this one. I'm going to try and start going a bit quicker because I've already been filming for half an hour. I will have bits to cut out when I've been changing the games around, but half an hour seems like a long time. So this is dumb questions to ask your friends. We've only played this one once, so I can't tell you too much about it, but it's definitely one that's going to get put into the rotation. You essentially, the player who is the person that's trying to get the points picks out, I thought it was 5 cards, but on the back it's showing 6 cards, but I'm pretty sure it's 5 cards that you pick out, and you put them down and you close your eyes, you block out the sound, whatever you need to do, and everyone else around you gets to see the card and come up with an answer to the card, and then the card gets put back in, and everyone then gives you their answer to the card. And once they've given you the answer, you can look at all 5 of the cards. I'm pretty sure it is 5. If it is 5, there's 5 places to put your cards. I don't know, maybe they'll just use 6 cards on the back too. give you more examples. But yeah, you then look at the 5 cards and you have to figure out across the board which is the least likely to the most likely to be the card that people are giving you their answers to. And then once you've done that and you've locked in, you get points based on where you put the card. So if the card that everyone gave you the answer to you actually put in the least likely spot, you get 0 points. If you put it in the most likely spot, you get 4 points, and there's, you know, you can get 1, 2 or 3 as well based on where you put the card. And then points are added up at the end, and whoever got the most points wins. It's very simple, but I really enjoyed it when we played it. Then we have Incoherent. This is essentially a game where you get a card and you have to say what is on the card. You essentially say it over and over and over again to try and understand what it is. So you'll all be saying it, you'll all be shouting it, one person can see the answer. So real agent sip goals, so you'll be saying real agent sip goals, real agent sip goals, real agent, and then like someone will understand the incoherentness of it all and understand that the card is actually saying relationship goals. And it's just like that, and it's very simple. I don't know if we've ever played this where we've kept score, to be honest. There is a timer, but I think we normally just play it and whoever wins wins, like sort of thing. Like normally it's pretty obvious. I'm shit at this game. I am not good at understanding what the words being shouted at are trying to say. Like this is not a game that I'm good at, but it's a lot of fun because like everyone's always shouting, everyone's literally trying to understand it in their own head, everyone's listening to everyone else, and it's just, yeah, it's really fun. I would say if you kind of like want a bit of a louder games night, want a bit more of like a party type atmosphere. We've never actually played this at a party. Like games night are very separate to parties for us, but it definitely gives more like that kind of crowd. I think if you drink as well, this could be a really fun one to play when you drink, because obviously things are going to sound even weirder. So yeah, I do think this one is a really good fun one, and you're either good at it or you're not. I'm not, but I still have fun playing it even though I'm bad at it, which I think makes the game really good. Then we have herd mentality, and like we technically have like 9.5 games here, I guess. I didn't class this as a game because you need this main game to be able to play, but we do also have the Christmas pack for herd mentality, which just the cards that are included in this around Christmas time will swap out for the Christmas version of the cards. That's it. But this is really fun. You essentially get questions. Would you rather have robot arms or robot legs? But you're not answering as you're answering to try and guess and estimate how everyone is trying to answer, and you want to try and answer the same way as everyone else, and that's how you get points. You also have like a negative aspect of the game if you are the only person to give a specific answer. There is a squeaky pink cow that also goes around into it. It always looks like a pig to me, but it does say it's a squeaky pink cow. And yeah, you essentially are just trying to get as many cow tokens as you can, and at the end of the game the person with the most cow token wins. I'm not actually sure if it's the most cow tokens or if it is to a certain number of cow tokens. Maybe it's once you've got like 20 or something, or maybe it's just the most. Can't remember honestly. Yeah, but it's really fun, it's really silly, and every time we play it it's good, because especially sometimes you just don't want to answer like a certain way. Like, what's the biggest animal you could lift up? You're basically insulting whoever you think is the weakest person in the room, because you have to answer based on how everyone else is going to answer. So like for me, I'd instantly go to like, well, who's the weakest person in the room? What animal do I think they could pick up? And then that would be the answer I answered. But everyone else might look around the room and decide, oh well, who's the strongest person in the room? What could they pick up? Or like, so we've got 2 cats. If we're playing at our house, people might be like, oh well, you could definitely, everyone here could pick up the cats, everyone might answer cats. Like, you don't know how everyone's going to answer, and everyone's second guessing how to answer because you want to think like everyone else, but then you're second guessing everything because you want to try and think like everyone else. So yeah, very fun. Then we have snakes. This is very fun. So we essentially, you have snakes, you have cards, and the card has a question on it, and the question will be something like, what has been proven to attract sharks? A, strobe lights, B, soy sauce, C, heavy metal music. And that will be the question, that everyone can see that question. But everyone gets a card as well. You're either a character, a snake, or the mongoose of truth. And if you're a snake, which it's different depending on how many people are playing. This is a 4 to 8 players. I think how we've played, there's normally 2 snakes. I can't remember how many people were playing, but with that version there were 2 snakes. Everyone closes their eyes and you can see the answer. You can flip the card over and see the answer, and you know what the answer is. But as a snake, you don't want people to get the right answer, so then you need to try and distract them and like be confident about a different answer. And there's also the mongoose of truth, and that person essentially has a mongoose in front of them, and it shows like they aren't a snake, they're not lying. But just because they're not lying doesn't mean they know the answer. Like, you can be the mongoose of truth and be like very saying like, I believe this answer is correct, but just because you believe it doesn't mean it's true, sort of thing. So that's like a very interesting element of the game as well. It's really, really fun, honestly. Like, I don't think there's much to explain about this. It's just one of those games that when you're playing you want to keep playing, and it's really, really fun. And yeah, I'm personally bad at being a snake in this because I give it away way too much, because normally when we're playing I don't really care. Like, I'll just go whatever everyone else thinks. If I think I know an answer, I'll say. If I don't, I'll listen to everyone else's discussion. But as soon as I'm a snake, I'm like, no, definitely not true. No, definitely not true. I definitely know the answer. This is it. And everyone's like, yeah, like, no, like, yeah. So that's a really fun one. And the last one, and then I'm going to need to charge the camera and come back at a later point because we are almost out of battery, is 20 seconds showdown. This one you literally get 20 seconds to answer, but the timer is like based off each other. I can hear the sound going now. Hopefully you can't hear the sound going down. But essentially you have a question, you answer it, and you flip the timer. You have a question, you answer it, you flip the timer, and you're trying to get the other team's timer to go down to 0 so they can't answer any more questions. So yeah, very, very fun, and you essentially just want to answer as quickly as possible to flip that timer back over and put it back on the other team. It's very fun, very fast paced. I don't know if it says anywhere on the box how long it estimates it to take, but I reckon this takes maybe 15 minutes, maybe. Very fun, lots of silly questions. You're always trying to go around and answer quickly. I can just hear sand going. That's not going to make it better because I already tipped it up once. Either way, this is 20-second showdown and I would highly, highly recommend it. I'll be back momentarily to tell you the rest of the games. Okay, we are back. This is the great games that you can start games night with. Like, they're nice, easy, simple games, or you can take out with you. Like, they're simple enough games that you could very easily take them out to the park, the pub, whatever. Like, you could take them out with you very easily. First up is this one. This is called OK Play. This is very similar to Connect 4, but you connect in 5, and it can be 2 to 4 players. There are 4 colours here, you can play with 4 people, and there's no board, so you essentially get a tile off, put it down, and you can only connect to the side, you can't connect to a corner. So you can connect any side to any side, and you're trying to get 5 in a row, which can be up, down, left, right, or diagonally. And it's really, really fun. We've taken this out with us a few times, ended up playing it a few times, and I've really, really enjoyed it. I think it's a really great game. It also comes with just like a clip, so you can just clip it onto the side of a bag, or, well, I always clip it onto the side of my bag, but I'm sure you can clip it anywhere. And yeah, it's really, really fun, really simple, and because you don't need a board, you can literally play it anywhere. You can decide how big the area you're playing in is, and you can just keep going and keep going, and it's really fun. I'd really recommend it. If you enjoyed Connect 4 and you want to be able to play a game like that out, I definitely think this is a really good one. Then we have Quirky. This is a game where you have to give an answer, and if people don't like your answer, they can call you out for it, and then you can argue about it. It is very fun. It's caused some very big arguments. It's been a lot of fun. You essentially, there's a dice, there's a timer, and you're trying to get through as many questions as possible in time for the timer. Once the timer has finished, any questions that you got called out on, you then go through with the people that have called you out and discuss, and you get points based on how many questions you answered. Really, really fun, really enjoy. It's definitely one to start an evening and get everyone into the zone, because everyone just gets so involved in it. I really, really would recommend and really, really enjoy this one. Then we have Taco Cat Goat Cheese Pizza. I don't actually know the name of this game, and we do technically have another version of this. This is Santa Cookie Elf Candy Snowman. We actually haven't played the Christmas version. We've had it for 2 Christmases now, I believe, but we've never got this one out. But we have got this one out a few times, and it's essentially like a more complicated version of Snap. So every time you put a card down, you have to say the next word that is necessary. So in this one, Taco Cat Goat Cheese Pizza. So as you put your card down, you say taco, and the next person would say cat, and you're going around. But then also you're trying to get the same cards and like literally snap them. It's very, very simple, very, very easy, but very, very much fun. And obviously there's lots of different versions of this. I don't think these are the only 2 versions. I'm sure when we've been at games cafes we've seen other versions of this as well, and I don't know if the version that we played before we had this was even Taco Cat Goat Cheese Pizza, or if it was a different one. So yeah, there's lots of versions of this, but it's essentially a more complicated Snap where you have to not only keep your eye on the cards, but also your brain on what word comes next. Then we have Shot in the Dark. This it has become like an all-time favourite, to be honest. Like, we got this game not long after moving into this house, like 4 years ago, and I think we are almost through all of the questions in this pack. We also got Shot in the Dark Christmas edition, which we were going to get at Christmas, and essentially it is loads of questions that you don't know the answer to. Like, there's no way of you knowing the answer to these questions. So for instance, on the back, one of the examples is, how many litres of vodka does the average Russian person drink each year? Everyone would give their answer, and then the person with the closest answer wins, and that's it. Like, you can score it, you can take points. We normally do it so one person is reading the questions for a card and everyone gets the chance to read a question card, unless someone really enjoys reading the question card, in which case they can just do that. And you can read the question card and answer it, you just have to be a bit more careful when revealing the answer. So like, you definitely don't need a question asker, you can all just play. And yeah, really enjoy this one. It comes out a lot and it's been a favourite for a long time. Then similar sort of vein, and I do really enjoy this game, but if I was picking between bringing Shot in the Dark out and this one out, I'd pick Shot in the Dark. And this one is more or less, it's the same sort of thing with a question and you answer it, but you're answering more or less. So, are there more or less calories in an avocado than a McDonald's cheeseburger? And you would say, I think there's less in avocado and more in a McDonald's cheeseburger and whatever, and then you'd see the answer. I do really enjoy it. I think it does the same sort of thing as Shot in the Dark, just personally I prefer Shot in the Dark. And obviously this one, you are literally saying more or less. So like, I do really like it. It's just obviously like, you are answering more or less, that's the only answer. It's not as easy to just have your own answer and make it up. And yeah, a lot of fun. Just don't normally pick it over Shot in the Dark. And then I've put this one in this section, and this one definitely can be played to start a games night, and it can be taken out to play. However, I do think when you're setting it up, you want to be at home, or you don't want to take this whole big box out basically. But this is a game that you play in the background. It's called Don't Get Got, and I really enjoy this. I think I like this more than anyone else does, to be honest. I'm always wanting to set this up as a game. But essentially you get a little pack, and at the top of your pack it says, say guess what to a player. If they reply what, then say got it. And then you have 5 other randomly picked out things that you need to do throughout the game, and you can play it for as long as you want. So one year me and Jay played this, just the two of us, and we played it on Christmas Eve into Christmas Day until one of us won. And if you do one of these yellow cards successfully, you flip it round and turn it round to nailed it, and if you did it unsuccessfully, you have to flip it round and turn it round to failed it. And I believe it's getting 3 of them correct. 3 nailed it wins. I can't see, I need to read the instructions to double check, but I'm pretty sure 3 nailed it win. And then the black one at the top is the same for everyone, so say guess what and get a player to say what, and then you get it. And you don't ever fail this one. Like, if you try the black one, you can try it again and again and again until you've nailed it, or until someone else wins. So yeah, really a lot of fun, and you basically set it up and play it in the background. So you might be playing a game and someone's not even 100% focused on that game because they're trying to get someone to do something from Don't Get Got. So we played in December, me and Jay played with his parents and sister, and there was one where it was get a player to reach something up high for you. So his dad had put his glasses up on top of a counter and said, like, Jay's really tall, Jay's taller than most people, and said, oh Jay, can you reach that for me? And Jay got because he got the glasses for him, sort of thing. So it's stuff like that, and it's really fun, and it's just a really nice game to have in the background and you don't really think about it. Honestly, I think if we went on holiday, like if we did a group holiday, taking this and playing this over like the course of a week or something would be really fun. But you can definitely finish it in 2 or 3 hours if people are willing to be a bit ruthless. So yeah, really fun, really enjoyed it. I don't actually know how long this suggests it should take. I can't see anything on the outside of the box with a suggestion of time, but really recommend. Then let's get into the section of older games that we don't really play that much. So I'd say the game that we used to play, or at least Jay used to play, this was Jay's game, his only game before we met actually, and this is Cards Against Humanity. I definitely played this during college and during uni, and Jay played it a lot then as well. We just don't tend to play it anymore, honestly. I think this is one of those games that is better if you're drinking, and we don't drink, and neither do a lot of the people that we do regular games nights with. It's definitely one that I think we should keep, and I can definitely see us playing this in the future. I think this one is normally, I think the last few years years. Whoever's done New Year's Eve has already owned this game, so we haven't taken it. But it's definitely one that's fun for like a New Year's Eve or a party sort of thing. A lot of people like this. Personally, it's not my favourite, but Jay really liked it when he was at uni and was playing it a lot and stuff like that. So it's definitely an old one. It's definitely one we're going to keep. We don't play it a lot now, but I feel like it's one of those games that it's going to be quite cyclical and come around again and again into popularity. So yeah, really do enjoy this one. Then there is Double. So Jay played this when he was a kid and he really wanted it again, so we got it, but it is an older game and we don't really play it much. Literally all you do is connect different cards, so it actually shows you here. Cards have different pictures on them and you try and connect cards that have the same picture. It's that simple. That's all you really do. Honestly, we don't really play this. I guess if we didn't have any of the other kind of like Snap-esque games, this might be one we picked up more, but it is a really old one. Like, Jay played it when he was a kid, so you know it's been going around a while. We don't really play it, but I think it's one that throughout the course of our lives we will pick up now and then, and I am really glad that we own it and can play it. And then the final game that we don't really play, we played this once to be exact. I don't know if Jay's played it with his friends any of the times that I haven't been about, but me and Jay have played it once, and that is Top Trumps. Jay owns the, well I guess we own, but it's the Rick and Morty Top Trumps, which is Jay's selection of Top Trumps, shall we say. And it is fun. Top Trumps is a game that I used to play in primary school. So I was like 8, 9, 10 when I properly played Top Trumps. We own one pack. It's fun every now and again. It's silly. It's easy. It's an older game. We don't play it much. But again, I'm glad we own it and we do occasionally bring it out. So yeah, those were the old games. Then we have games that I haven't played yet. We do have a little bit of a pile here. I think there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games that we own that I haven't played yet. And that's just circumstantial, to be honest. So first of all, we'll start with a bit of a gag gift. Jay turned 30, well, last year now, and I got him the Born in 1994, the game. It's just a silly game where you get loads of events and have to try and put them in the correct order. That's it. I haven't played this. I don't know if Jay's taken it out any times that he's seen it. I don't know, the cards are still sealed, so he mustn't have taken it out. It is a bit of a gag game, but I thought it'd be fun. I'm sure it will get played at some point and it will be decided if it's good enough to keep or not, but it's just kind of like a nice thing because he was turning 30 and obviously he was born in 1994. So you know, like, hopefully it's good, hopefully it's decent. I'm sure it'll get played until all the cards have been used. I don't know how good it will be. I don't know. Then we've got a game I haven't played yet, and honestly, I don't know if I will. So this is I Should Have Known That. It is a trivia type game, and this was played during the last games night that we had at our house after I'd gone to bed. Like, I can't stay up too late, so I'd gone to bed, and the reports on this are not great. I think maybe the questions might be used and we'll like reframe how we play the game, but apparently the game dynamics are not great. It caused a lot of arguments, it caused a lot of irritation. The feedback I got, obviously I didn't play it, I was really excited to play it, it sounded really good, but the feedback I got, it was like some 60-year-old man had made this game without ever having played a game, and there were no game dynamics that made sense, and a lot had to be changed to make it playable. I don't know, like, I still think it sounds good. We haven't got rid of it. I would still like to play it and give it a go myself before we decide to get rid of it, but yeah, I don't think it's one that is gonna last years and years and years, but it's maybe a fun one to bring out every now and then to annoy people. But then we have May Contain Butts. May Contain Butts is one that we've almost played so many times. This is a very simple game to play. It says it should only take 15 minutes, so we've tried to play it many times and food's always arrived by the time we've got it set up. I think once it's set up it's an easy game to play, but it's one that's got a board and cards, and you have to like dish out the cards based on how many people there are, and there's a few different piles and stuff. So we haven't played this yet. I am really excited to. It is very similar, I believe, to the like Taco Cat Goat Cheese Pizza game, where it's very similar to Snap but with a few more added things to try and play with. So yeah, hopefully it's fun. When we've been setting it up, I've really like the sound of it, so hopefully we'll get round to playing this one soon, but so far cannot comment on it. Then there's also Bumblefuzz. I believe this has been played without me as well. Yeah, the cards are open. This sounds really, really good. Essentially you have loads of different cards, loads of different colour cards, and loads of different colour words on the cards, including the word Bumblefuzz, and it's like a silly word, knowing what you need to do for each card, going through the cards, trying to just win basically game. I think this is going to be quite similar to the games like Noggin and Incoherent, like, yeah, kind of like same vibes as Noggin and Incoherent anyway. I think this is going to be a lot of fun when we do get around to playing it. We haven't had this one very long, so I'm not surprised we haven't managed to play it yet, but I would really like to. Then we have Cards versus Gravity. This seems really fun. We're going to play this last game tonight and realise we don't have any bottles in, and you need a bottle to start the game. You put like a little thing, like a bottle stopper, into a bottle, and then there's like a magnetic piece that starts the game and you play from there. So this will probably be one that we take with us next time we go out to a pub. Yeah, it hasn't happened since we got the game. We got this game for Christmas, and I think Jay's been once, but I didn't go that time. So yeah, next time we're going out somewhere like that, there's definitely going to be a bottle around. We will take this one with us, and essentially you have a stack of cards and you're trying to, any pink card you need to attach to a pink card, and a blue card you need to attach to a blue card, and a yellow card to a yellow card, and a green card to a green card, and this gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and you don't want to be the person who makes the pile topple over. So kind of Jenga-esque, I guess, but with cards, and is easy to take out. It's only actually very small. It does come with a carry bag in here. I have had a look through it, and everything should fit in this tiny little, can you even see that? No, I'm not. There we go. This tiny little bag here, everything should fit in. So yeah, hopefully we'll get a chance to play this one soon as well, because I do think this one could become a new favourite. Then we have Pub Quiz. This is again another trivia game. As you've seen, we've got a few trivia games on the go at the moment that we haven't played for all the cards at, so I'm sure this will be one that we get to eventually. And I do believe this one's got quite a young age rating on it, so this might be a good one to be with family. Yeah, this is ages 8+, and you play it with 2 teams. This might be a good one to do for a family games night, which just don't happen quite as often as friend games nights. So yeah, we'll definitely get to this one at some point. I think it's just a classic pub quiz, so it's kind of quiz games and trivia questions you would get if you were going to the pub. So yeah, that'll be enough one that we play shortly. And then last but not least is a game that I once again missed because I went to bed early. But this is Tilt and Shout. Jay said that this game was amazing, really enjoyed it and had a lot of fun, and he really wants us to play this. It is 2+ players, so we can play it just the 2 of us, and he said he would recommend that. He said he actually thinks it will be better to play with just 2 players rather than more. I think there were 5 of them when they played, so yeah, really good. It's essentially very similar, I think, to 20-Second Showdown, where you've got this kind of like tilting board and you answer the question and tilt it to the other player and keep doing that. Can you see that? Yeah, I'm not sure if the glare had caught it before, but yeah, you can definitely see that. And you just keep going and keep going, and you want the ball to be at the end of the other team's timer, and then they can't answer more questions. I think this game can go on quite a while. I don't know if there is a time on the outside of the box. There is not, but obviously depending on how fast you can answer questions and how fast you can keep going, depends on how fast you can go. And yeah, Jay definitely recommends this one. He really wants us to play it, so I'm sure we'll play it soon. Yeah, unfortunately I went to bed early, so did not get to this one. Okay, and then we have the Honourable Mentions. These are basically games that we've played but we don't own ourselves, but I do think are really good, and I think at some point in our lives we will end up owning. There's probably others as well, honestly. Like, I can definitely remember playing a really cool like country card game at one point, don't know what it's called. And there's definitely been games that we've played when we've been at board game cafes that we've been like, oh, we'd like to play this again, but this has potential of us wanting ourselves. But there are three games that I'm aware of that we definitely want ourselves. One is Muffin Time. This is by Big Potato Games, and it's a card game where everyone has a hand of cards and you're trying to get to a certain number. I believe the number was 7. I think you wanted 7 cards in your hand to end, but I could be wrong. We've only played this once, but it was so much fun. We played it at a board game cafe. Everyone loved it. Everyone had a good time. It really, like, I think it was probably the best game we played the entire time we were there. It was really fun, and there was like, you had cards where everyone had to do something. You had cards that you could put down and like could curse people and trick people into doing something. It was really good. The other one is Manic Minute. This is a game where you basically get a prompt card and everyone has to write down everything they can to do with the cards. It might be items you'd find at a campsite, and everyone will write down for 1 minute, and at the end of the minute everyone goes through and says what they've wrote down, and if someone else has wrote down the same thing as you both cross it out. And once everyone has been round and said everything that they've wrote down, you count up how many items you've got wrote down that no one else had wrote down, and that is your score. and it just goes round and round and round. We played it quite a few times at a game cafe, and we also brought it as a gift at least once. It might have been twice. We might have brought it for 2 people, I'm not sure, but it's one that we've like purchased but not for ourselves, and it was a lot of fun, so I really would like to get it for ourselves at some point. And then the final game is Sushi Go. This is a very fun card game where you have a load of sushis, and there's different ways to earn points through the sushis and collecting the sushis and trading with people and stuff like that. And we've played it quite a few times. We don't own it, but one of our friends who quite frequently either comes to games night or sometimes hosts it at their house does own it, so it's not a priority for us to get it, but I do believe that this is one that we will get at some point, because it's always been very fun when playing with friends. And I think obviously we've got a lot of games right now, and we don't do family games nights very often, so I don't see us running out of games anytime soon, but I do think Sushi Go will be one that we want to get at some point to be able to play with other people as well. So yeah, those are the honourable mentions. I'm going to quickly count up the games so I can give you a number, put them back on the shelves so they actually look half decent, and then I'll wrap this up. Okay, so the games are all back on the bookshelf behind me. I will do close up so you can properly see how they look. Honestly, this is ever changing. Every time we get them out we end up putting them back different, but I'm quite happy with how they've gone back now. And there were 37 games. There were 37 games that we spoke about today. Honestly, I think this video is going to be close to an hour. I do not know how I spoke so much about every game. I probably should have just held them up and told you the names. Maybe I'll make enough one of those at some point. But yeah, those are all the games. Those are all the games that we like to play. Those are all the games that we own. I'm really happy with our board game collection, and I have a lot of fun with it. So yeah, I really do hope that you enjoyed the video. If you have got any games that we don't have and you would recommend them, let me know down below. If you like any of these games, let me know. And yeah, as always, you can give the video a like if you liked it, subscribe down below if you want to see more content like this, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Bye!